Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and what if I told you that Fallout 76, the game that was just announced a couple of days ago and has our interest, has a chance to be dropping late next month. Yes, according to a listing on Amazon.com, which has now been adjusted to a placeholder date in 2019, Fallout 76 is coming out July 31st. Initially, this date sticks out like a sore thumb because it actually lands on a Tuesday, which is the most common day of the week for video games to release. So instantly it caught my attention, but now everyone grab their doctor's masks. I'm about to spread my speculitis everywhere. I don't want anybody catching all the disgusting speculation I'm sneezing in your direction. There is a decent amount to take away from this July 31st date, and why it could actually be possible for, out of all companies, Bethesda Game Studios. First, my boy Todd Howard. Todd has gone on record in many interviews of saying after Fallout 4 that he wants the period between announcement and release date to be as short as humanly possible. His philosophy behind it is that when you look at a game, you don't go, I want to wait a while for that. You want it as soon as possible, but of course you want that period of time to be excited for it. What more could increase the excitement than seeing the game for the first time at E3 and knowing it's coming out over a month and a half later? I think the roof would blow off at that place with excitement. Furthermore, if we look back at Fallout 4, Bethesda Game Studios are the ones who created the trend of the short period between announcement and release date, with the game being announced in June and releasing in November. What other company would be better to shorten that trend and make those points even closer between each other than the company that normalized this trend? I want to roll back to that Nintendo E3 2018 leak. I'm talking about the leak that mentioned a Fallout 3 anniversary on the Nintendo Switch. There have been a lot of interesting developments for the Nintendo Switch over the past couple weeks that can aid in making this leak, I put it in quotes yet again, look a little bit more legitimate. One of the leaked games mentioned on there was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which, mind you, I re-downloaded Pokemon Go just for this game. I can't freaking wait. Personal hype aside though, that's one game that was on that list that ended up being real. And now that was amongst a lot of other rumors and leaks that came out before this trailer, but still, this was one of these leaked documents that had mentioned it. And it also mentioned Fortnite and Dragon Ball FighterZ, which have had their own separate leaks, and according to Kotaku, they have heard that it is legitimately coming to the Nintendo Switch. Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Switch, instant cop. I can't wait. But Fortnite is also something that's been heavily anticipated from gamers on the Nintendo Switch to have that battle royale fun on the go. I don't think it was a tough prediction to say that one of the most popular games ever was going to make its way to another console, and one that was highly requested. Those are three different things between Pokemon, Fortnite, and Dragon Ball FighterZ that were on that list and have leaked, and now people are saying are true, and one of them being definitely true, which is Pokemon, because we've seen the official announcement from Nintendo. I'm not saying the leak is real, but right now it's looking more and more legitimate. If this game is releasing in July, that leaves the fall period open for Bethesda, where they could say you can get Fallout 76 in the next month, and hey, also, we know you love Fallout 3. This is the 10-year anniversary, and to celebrate that, we're re-releasing Fallout 3 on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC. It's gonna come with all the DLC, it's gonna be touched up, yada yada yada. That would be beautiful. I would love that so much, and once again, I think the place would erupt with happiness. Another interesting thing that stood out to me personally was Danny O'Dwyer, who runs No Clip, which is a documentary series for video games. It's excellent stuff. I highly recommend you check it out. Is doing the making of for Fallout 76, which is so cool because I believe Fallout 4 actually never got one. What's interesting is that the making of Fallout 76 is dropping on July 12th. My question though in general is just why drop a making of video before the game launches? Does that risk spoiling anything? How do they not tell us certain details? Wouldn't we have to know what they're talking about in reference to the stuff that they're going to show and that we're going to play? Doesn't that stuff usually happen after the launch of a video game or during the launch? So whether it is July or in the fall like some of us imagined, this date in particular sticks out to me a little bit, and I wonder if it's connected to the July 31st potential release date. Now let's say the Fallout 3 anniversary aspect of the Nintendo leak ends up not being true, which it is very well possible. I'd also like for all of us to consider Rage 2 then. A July 31st release date would give Rage 2 the time to have excitement for it again, because let's say this game, Fallout 76, drops in the fall, and then I imagine Rage 2 personally is dropping sometime in the spring. Post-apocalyptic will become oversaturated, and I think a lot of the excitement and intrigue for Rage 2 could dumb down. But if Fallout 76 is, like it's rumored, online to some extent, and people are looking for that strictly single-player post-apocalyptic game, that they can look to Rage 2 in the following year. But if it drops too closely to one another, then I think a lot of the excitement for Rage 2 could be diminished. Considering Rage 2 could actually feed off of some of the shortcomings for Fallout 76. And for the final thing I want to say, kind of the icing on the cake, nothing huge, is that the game is already available for pre-order. I believe this is pretty common in video games, but when I look at this, I take it as two things. Number one, either a sign of greed, because we have no idea what Fallout 76 is whatsoever, or a readiness to launch very soon. But then there are also fans like myself and many others who can't imagine just skipping a Bethesda Game Studios launch, so there's that too, and I wouldn't look too deeply into that. But anyway, a lot of this was speculation based off a potential leaked date for Amazon.com. We don't know if it's true. There has been no official statement from Bethesda, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. So fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Be sure to stay tuned for all the Fallout 76 coverage on this game before and after its reveal. And on top of all of that, be sure to consider supporting my Patreon. It fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.